Namaste, all you mystical minds. Welcome back to another new moon reading in Virgo this month. It's October. This is Vedic Astrology, and we will be diving into all the energies around health and healing and service and enemies, combust Mars, all this stuff in this video. Lots to unpack. Welcome, my name is Chelsea Sonka, I'm a Vedic astrologer, and this is your October new moon reading in Virgo, Vedic astrology in Hasta Nakshatra. So just before we get started, I just want to pay homage to Mercury because we're in another Mercury ruled sign today, so let's get started. Priyanguka lika syamam rupina pratimam buddham somyam somya gunopitam tam buddham pranamamyaham om aim strim srim buddhaye namaha. Whose body beloved body is dark like darkness, whose image is like the form of intelligence, whose qualities are most beautiful, to that Mercury, emblem of intelligence, we bow down in devotion. Om, we bow down to Mercury, the emblem of intelligence. Mercury, who is currently retrograde. So if you're like me and you've had any issues with communication, memory loss, losing things in the last couple of days, communication issues, trouble, Bluetooth connecting my phone and my earphones together. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. And that's what happens when Mercury retrograde happens. You want to back up your content just in case. All right, so as we jump into the reading, we've got a new moon this month. As I explained at the start of the video, this is a time of new intentions, planting new seeds, and then we will start to see them come to fruition when we reach the full moon, which will be in Aries, I believe on the 21st of October, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I'm reading this from Australia, but you will see the placements, might shift around in the world, but they all sitting in Virgo this month. So Virgo is all about planning. It's about details. It's about service. It's about enemies, health, and healing. So we can see new discoveries coming out this month. I know for me personally, I've seen news reports coming out in the last 24 hours, and this energy around the new moon, it can happen a couple of days before, a couple of days after, depending on the way that your thoughts are aligned and the energy that you're looking for. You'll start to see things unraveling this month, new information coming through, despite Mercury being retrograde, because we've got all these planets that are moving through this Virgo energy. So lots of creational energy, lots of service stuff. And I think, interestingly enough, with Mercury being retrograde, the ruler of this sign, so it's quite a powerful placement, but we do have that combust Mars energy. So there's a lot of action, anger, fire happening at the same time, big transformational energy, and also an aspect coming from Uranus, which can be unexpected and sudden changes. So I can't pinpoint what's necessarily going to happen, but I do believe that with this transit over the next week, to just be very much aware. There's a lot of, symbolism and omens that I was getting, as I prepare for these readings, but also the animal energies that are connected to these specific signs, and the stars, so that we can see it's about being aware, speaking your truth, but being aware of the Mars combust energy and the miscommunication that can happen with a Mercury retrograde. So you can see here that they're all sitting at 19 degrees bar Mercury. And here like I said before, we've got this anger, action, communication troubles, foggy mindedness that can happen. So from about the 7th to the 15th, you'll find we're also going through the 9 nights of the Divine Mother, which is Navaratri. So we have a couple of Navaratris a year, but this is the big one, where for the first 3 nights we celebrate Mother Durga, which is the goddess of courage and strength. So we're gathering our courage and our strength at this time. You know, for us, Australian Eastern Standard Time, tomorrow is the 7th. Then the next 3 days is Lakshmi, so it's about abundance and prosperity, wealth. And wealth is not just, you know, cash money, it's also wealth of intelligence, wealth of love and support, wealth of health, all these different things that we can find it if you take the time to look around you. And the last 3 days of Saraswati was the manifestation of wisdom and intelligence. So as we move through those 3 stages, we have wisdom and intelligence, which is initially, when you think about you're moving through the zodiac, we're coming to that last placement where we ascend back to moksha, you know, enlightenment, coming back to the source, which is the true intelligence, that cosmic consciousness that we all come from, but we forget our intelligence from, say, previous lifetimes, or the collective consciousness that we all have access to at any single moment, despite maybe having fears or doubts about your own inner abilities. Now, as I was saying, this unique placement of Uranus, it represents a potential big bang, big bust up. Something's going to happen that's going to cause this rippling effect of a wake up throughout the world. Now, again, like I said before, depending on the narrative that you are choosing to tune into at this time, I always say, come back to the self, take time out, spend time on your own so that you can really get in tune with your higher self, because if there's a lot of noise going on around you, it's going to be very hard to tune into that radio signal of your higher self. By the full moon, you'll notice that all the retrogrades will be now moving forward. That is Jupiter in Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn, Mercury will no longer be retrograde, and Pluto is also going forward too. So all these big, you know, we're starting to move forward again. The train has left the station and will be chugging along, starting to, you know, all these themes around Capricorn, you know, Virgo to these earth energies where government, workplace, career, and also health, healing, service, enemies, this sort of fighting sort of energy in these areas, that this competition of earth energy that's going on. I really do believe that that's got a lot to do with, okay, we're actually going to start to see changes happening, or manifestations of truths coming out. So like I was sharing just before, that even just this morning I started seeing news reports coming out about different things based on the narrative that I seem to be tuning into in regards to at the moment. And I always like to take a very unbiased side. Like, I have my own personal opinions and feelings towards things that are aligned with my high self, but I always look at both sides and try to feel what feels right for me. And I am definitely pro-choice. You can take that however you want, but I really do feel that now is the time to say, okay, what feels right for me or yourself, as opposed to pushing things onto other people around you to make yourself feel safe, because that's just Maya, that's an illusion. And to sit with yourself and ask yourself, why are you afraid of certain things? Because when you know that you're an timeless, you know, eternal being, that this one lifetime, it doesn't mean that we don't still have fears. It's just we are eternal. This one lifetime is not the stopping point. So it's just transiting through. And as we talk about karma, right action, every action has a reaction. So I know for myself personally, I'd just rather follow my gut and do what feels right, as opposed to karmically building up what doesn't feel right for myself and then having to come back to learn the lessons again. But we all make mistakes, you know, mistakes, opportunities to come back and learn things again. So there's no judgment ever from anything. Hasta. Let's dive into this. So this particular nakshatra we're working with this month is in the constellation of Corvus, which is the crow. So I pulled up my spirit animal book and went through this, and it's about big changes, speaking up about injustice, giving glimpses into the future, manifestation. You're on the edge of manifesting the thing that you've been working on for such a long time, being watchful and aware of what's going on around you. Very, very, very relevant to what's going on right now. The deity for this nakshatra is Savitar, which is the sun god, and it's all about this creative transformational energy, so we can see new forms of healing coming out that are going to move us into this new world. The power to manifest and then place it into your hand. Now, the first time I went to India, I spent time with an avatar and I saw them, you know, manifest a pendant out of thin air, no tricks, no magic, no sleeves, nothing like that. And it was just this realization of how quantum physics works and why I'm so interested and fascinated by it, that you can literally, when you are aligned and you remove all your fears and doubts, you can manifest that in your palm. And it just feels so strong with this first energy that I had on my first trip to India, that it can be placed within your own palm when you're focused on it, because Virgo is the sign of service. So serving your intention or the community and working towards that for healing. Powerful healing intelligence and the ability to remove ignorance can happen in this sign. So again, Mercury retrograde, we're moving back on communications and thinking about things. So there's going to be a bit of push and pull with that Mars combust as well. But yes, this is the energy we're playing with. Practical healing and self-development can happen here. So meditation, yoga practices for moving through this. It also brings out challenges. So like I was saying with this Uranus aspect that's going on at the moment, to help us shift onto the spiritual path. So for anybody that appears to be unaware or unconscious, will be given an opportunity to wake up. Or if you're doubting what's going on right now, you will be given an opportunity to see more of the truth of what's going on behind the Maya, the Wizard of Oz curtain, so that you can see what's going on. Control theme. So Hasta is about the hand, the clutching hand. They don't want to let go. So whether you feel that you don't want to let go of your bodily autonomy, or you don't want to let go of the desire to push a certain agenda out into the public to meet the needs of whatever that happens to be, both sides are clutching right now for freedom and sovereignty versus, potential liberation of the virus, I suppose, would be. I think you guys all know where my thoughts go on these things, but I definitely don't agree with being forced to. You just have to look around you and you can just see how much devastation it's causing at the moment. I really do believe there is much more heart-centered ways that we could be dealing with this, but this is the energy karmically that we are all working with and incarnated with to learn from at this time. Not going to get into blame games. What are we here to learn? So control themes, controlling the environment themes that come up, critical nature, impatient nature, cunning and merciless nature. So that's the shadow side that can come out of this. Slow down, take as much time as you need. Don't take any rush decisions at this time. A book that I'm using at the moment for going deeper into my spiritual practice that was transcribed by a man named Roger Lanfear, I believe his name is, from Babaji. I clear my aura of all uninvited influences except my higher self. I send love and light to all energy beings around me, or around my aura, basically. So you just constantly cleanse your aura as you need to, cleanse your being, and just connect back into your higher self, because it'll give you the messages that you need. Remove yourself from loud or noisy environments that aren't supporting your positive energy, so that you can stay heart-centered at this time and make decisions from that place, because that's where you really need to be at this moment. And lastly, the female buffalo is the animal that is represented by the specific nakshatra. And I really want to read this out to you because I think it's so relevant. Also, bison, trust that you will always have whatever you need. Focus on being appreciative and grateful for all that you have. Clear out any surplus goods and recycle those items. Now it's time to clean out house. So that might even be on social media, because we all saw what happened with Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp in the last couple of days. If you're looking for a really holistic and safe platform to use, I've recently downloaded Telegram. So if you're not already on there, you can definitely go and check that out. Have faith in the natural abundance of life. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and instead be aware of the extraordinary number of resources you have available. Expand your interest by trying a new hobby, recreation, sport, or activity. The white buffalo. Expect a miracle and keep the faith. A period of calm and peacefulness is upon you. Might not be going on out in the world, but it's definitely happening for you if you tune into this. One that you can pass along in your contact with others. So if you hold this space, you are going to be able to support others that come into your auric field. If you cleanse it, your spirituality will now increase in leaps and bounds because of the polarities that are going on right now. The ability to work through your shadow shit is much, much, much faster than before, whether you're aware of it or not. You're a contributor to a new era that's being ushered in, one of peace and harmony for all people. I hope you heard that. You're a contributor to a new era that's being ushered in, one of peace and harmony for all people. Conscious, unconscious, aware, unaware. We are all one. Even all the people that are pulling the strings right now and stopping you from going to the beach. Anyway, so that's my reading for this month. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be back around the 21st. I apologize, this is a bit late. So the new moon just happened this evening. We're sitting in the energy. We're sitting in the juices right now, which is great because I've got all the strength of the new moon while I'm doing this reading very late in the evening. And I'll see you guys on the 21st, around the 21st for the full moon reading with some more energy updates. Stay safe. Lots of love, blessings to you. Spend some time in nature, and I'll catch you at the full moon reading. Lots of love. Namaste.